and welcome to Crumbs Doilies in Soho, and it's January, which means that for a lot of people they are doing veganuary, and you might be one of those people who have cut out all dairy and meat from your diet just for this month, just to try it out. And if you have, then you're going to be needing some more vegan recipes, and we do loads here at the shop, all of which are delicious. One of my favourite things is the vegan Biscoff cookie sandwich, which is delicious, but we don't have any of them on the counter just yet because Sally needs to go and make them. So Sally,
yes,
you're going to make me some and we're going to make these guys some.
Sure. Right, come on, let's go upstairs and I'll show you how to do it.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so vegan Biscoff cookie sarnies. These all start with a cookie, obviously, and just because they're vegan doesn't mean they have to have any kind of weird and wonderful ingredients. These are really, really simple and easy. We're going to start with 2 types of sugar. We've got caster sugar and some light brown sugar, and that's just going to add a nice caramelly flavour, and it's going to help keep our cookies chewy. So we put 100 grams of those into a bowl, and into that we're going to add 75 mils of cold water and 120 mils of sunflower oil. You can use vegetable oil as well. Sunflower just has a bit of a cleaner taste, but vegetable oil is totally fine. So pop that into your bowl. And one last thing, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and of course, good quality extract, not essence. Do try and find a good one because it really does make a difference to your cake or biscuits. We're just going to stir those together very gently just to combine them. And once that's all combined, we can add our dry ingredients. And I've got 300 grams of plain flour. And then we're going to add half a teaspoon of salt, along with a full teaspoon of baking powder and 3/4 of a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. And then all we need to do now is stir those together. You don't want to beat it too much, just gently fold it in until it's one nice, smooth, consistent dough. And once you've got a nice, smooth, consistent dough, it's time to let it chill out. And we're going to put it in the fridge, preferably overnight if you've got time, but if not, a couple of hours will do. And that's just going to allow the gluten to relax, and you're going to get a much cleaner, smoother cookie dough. And I've already got some in the fridge that was made yesterday, so it's perfect for us to use now. So we can start measuring out our cookie dough, and we're going to go for 30-gram balls. And I'm just putting those in a tray because we're going to freeze these for about 10 minutes before baking, just to prevent them from spreading as much as possible. So we're going to put those in the freezer for 10 minutes and then we'll come back and get them in the oven. Okay, so I've got a baking sheet here. I've got these nice Silpat non-stick thingamajigs, but you can just put on some greaseproof paper, and I'm going to space the cookies out quite a bit because they are going to spread, but they're not huge, so you don't need to go too crazy on the spreading out. And then we're going to put them in the oven at 170 degrees C, that's with a fan, and we're going to bake them for 12 to 15 minutes until they're nice and golden on the outside. Okay, so we're going to fill our cookies with buttercream, but obviously these are vegan, so we can't use actual butter. Instead, we're going to use a combination of some sunflower spread and some Trex, which is shortening. I think in America it's called Crisco. Correct me if I'm wrong. And we've got 75 grams of each of those. We're going to start by putting them in a bowl and whipping them up. Just like our regular buttercream, we want to whip this up so it's nice and fluffy to prevent it from having that kind of waxy consistency. And the kind of shortening does have a tendency to do that, so be patient and just let this whip. And I'm using my hand mixer for this because it's such a small amount of icing. If you use a stand mixer, it's just too big and it's never going to whip it up, so it's really handy to have a hand mixer. And now you can see that's nice and kind of white and fluffy, so we can go in with our icing sugar. And in total I've got 400 grams, and I'm going to add it in 2 stages, giving it a good beat between each addition. Now, if your icing feels a little bit stiff, we can loosen it up, but obviously don't use milk because this is vegan icing. So I'm using soya milk, but you can use coconut or oat or any other milk replacement, and then just add a little bit at a time until you get the consistency that you want. So that's looking pretty good, but we want to make this Biscoff flavoured. So I've got some Biscoff Spread here, which is speculoos or lotus. I'm going to put about 50 grams in there, so about a nice big kind of spoonful. And the best thing is that this is already vegan. It's a miracle because this stuff is amazing. So just beat that into the buttercream and then it's made. So once your buttercream is made, we just need to wait about 3 or 4 minutes for our cookies to bake, cool down. We'll come back and we'll get sandwiching. Okay, our cookies are out of the oven, they've cooled down. I've got everything we need. We've got our icing, Biscoff, chocolate.
Oh, hi.
Jemma. Hello.
How are cookies coming along?
Great, we're about to fill them and you've got an apron on.
I happen to just have an apron on.
So why don't you give me a hand?
Okay.
So first of all, we need to put a nice ring of this icing around our cookies. So if you want to fill up my piping bag.
I sure will.
Perfect, that's plenty. So we'll just snip off the end, about a centimetre or so.
Voila.
Et voila, madame.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, dear. Worst scissors in the world.
Scissors, classic.
No one saw that.
Right, you get piping, and in the middle of your ring, I'm going to put a nice big dollop of some Biscoff Spread. Lovely, so now on with their lids.
All right.
Not too much pressure because we don't want the icing to splurge out of the edge too much.
What's next?
We need to dunk half of them in chocolate. I mean,
Okay.
you could leave them here, but why when you've got some chocolate? So we've got some 50% chocolate here, dark chocolate, but you can use whatever chocolate you like. And we've also put in a little bit of cocoa butter, which just means you don't really need to temper the chocolate, which means it's not going to bloom. But cocoa butter is quite an odd ingredient, so you could put a little bit of oil in there, or just melted chocolate is absolutely fine. So you go ahead and dunk your cookies in that, so just half of it.
All right.
Those look amazing. But if you just pass me that bowl of crumbs.
I was wondering what they were.
Yeah, on top of the chocolate, we're just going to add a little sprinkle of some Biscoff crumbs. There we go. They look amazing and they're vegan, but they're still absolutely delicious. But I mean, there's only one way that we're going to find out that, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, this would have been a lot less messy had these had time to sort of set and do their thing, but I can't wait for that.
What would be the fun in that? Let's get messy.
Let's get messy.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to take this one.
Oh my gosh, it's going everywhere. Oh dear. Oh
yeah.
my goodness me. Well,
Good though.
I can confirm that even though this is happening, this cookie is absolutely delicious.
They are. They're kind of chewy. They taste. You'd have no idea if you weren't vegan that these were vegan. So
No, you wouldn't. Would
please
you?
make them, vegan or not. And we've got loads of other vegan recipes on the channel, so we'll make sure to put them in the description box. Is that the right box? That is
That's
the right
box.
Fabulous. Gemma's going to continue eating her cookie. but we'll be back next week with another recipe video for you. Let us know how you get on with these in the comments box below. And if you've got any other ideas of what we could make that might be vegan, we'd love to find out. So, see you later.
Bye everyone. Sorry about this.
I like that you're carrying on.
I'm not sorry.